guys, it's Emma. Today I have a book review and a movie review on Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So first I'm going to do a quick review, non-spoilery, just kind of give what I generally thought of the book, and then I'm going to go into a more spoiler review of the book, and then I will review the movie. So this is a book about a girl named Amy and her husband named Nick. It's told in dual perspective from both Nick and Amy's perspectives in first person. It alternates on each chapter. And it's basically surrounding the mystery of his wife's disappearance on their 5th wedding anniversary. And there's suspicion around the town about what's happened to her. A lot of people suspect Nick, but others aren't sure of whether he's capable of murder or, you know, abduction or whatever. So it's kind of this whole mystery revolving around what actually happened to Amy and where she is and what is going on. So, of course, this book has been really, really hyped up, especially last year. A movie's been made out of it, there's been really great reviews on it, but there's also been some not great reviews on it. It's kind of mixed, so I really, really wanted to read it and see what it was all about. So a lot of people have given this like 5 stars, that absolutely it's just an amazing book. And at first, that's what I thought too, but when I got kind of halfway through the book and sort of towards the end as things kind of got wrapped up, I ended up giving it 4 stars. I had initially 5, but then I put it down to 4 because it was a pretty good book. It was a really good story, but it wasn't as great as everybody says it was, and it's not. There are some things with it that I found fault with that I didn't like, and to me that's why I gave it 4 stars, and that's why I don't think it's the epic, amazing book that everybody seems to think it is, or most people, I should say. So, I'll first of all give credit for definitely a really well-crafted story. Gillian Flynn, for sure, just like must have took ages planning out every little detail and just how everything should fall into place, kind of like dominoes, just like one by one, just each get knocked over, and reveals this whole pattern of like epicness of like a really well-crafted story. I very much enjoyed the dual perspective of both Nick and Amy, and the first person was very, very well done. I very much enjoyed the hooks at the end of each chapter, and it just kept me going and kept me wanting more and kept me wanting to find out what was happening, what was going on. And I really like the whole mysteriousness of it and the suspicion and the questions that keep popping up and how it, you know, you keep changing your mind about what you believe in and what you're not believing in and what you're sure of and who you trust, and so that was very well done. I really liked that. One thing though I did not enjoy, or one thing that I thought could have been handled better, was the pacing of the novel, or the layout, I should say, rather. For me, the big problem was that the twist came way too early. Like, it came at halfway through the book. So after that point, all of the build-up and tension had kind of decreased significantly, so that I felt really took away from it. So yeah, the second half of the book didn't have as great an impact on me as the first half of the book. I will go into more specifics in the spoiler section, but my main issue with it, the main reason I gave it 4 instead of 5 stars, was the fact that I just felt the pacing and the layout was done wrong, because to me, I just felt it all. I felt the revelation of what was really happening. I felt that came too soon, leaving me with nothing to hold on to afterwards during the rest of the story. So that was my main issue with the book. But other than that, it was a very, very well-written book and very well-crafted, and I pretty much enjoyed everything about it except for just, yeah, the pacing, the layout. I felt it could have been handled better or could have been paced differently. Okay, so that is the non-spoiler section. I'm going to go into more specific details now about why I didn't like the pacing and the layout. So if you haven't read the book, you should probably definitely leave, because this will spoil it big time for you. So if you're going to go, thanks for watching, and if you're going to stay, then let's continue. Okay, so at first I felt sorry for Amy. And obviously that was her doing, because she was manipulating you the whole time with her little diary entries, and she was very good at it. I genuinely felt very sorry for Amy for the majority of the book. And then I felt very sorry for Nick once I found out what was really happening. And then I was wondering, like, is it a bit over the top? Like, is Amy justified in doing all of her planning and reasoning? Like, do you guys think that she was justified in her, like, how far she took things? Do you respect or admire her for them? I wasn't sure. It was definitely a bit over the top. I mean, that was a pretty exaggerated response to someone cheating on you. But I guess, I mean, I don't know, because throughout the years it was all built up, this whole, like, this big boundary between them, that he never really understood her, appreciated her, but she also at the same time never, like, communication is key in relationships, so they could have like talked this out instead of going to this length and be like, oh, I'm gonna frame you for my murder and then I'm gonna commit suicide and nobody wins except for me in my grave, you know, like, and then of course she changes her mind, she doesn't kill herself. I don't know, that felt a bit dramatic. I mean, could they not have just sat down and talked things out? So yeah, at first I felt pretty sorry for Amy, and then I started to pity Nick, and I thought Amy was a psycho, but by the end of the book I wasn't on either one of their sides. I thought both of them were assholes, because Amy is a psycho and Nick is kind of just Nick. I don't know. I didn't like him really. He wasn't really much of anything. He was a bit of a drip. So yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned, the twist, in my opinion, I feel like the twist came way too early, because halfway through the book you find out it's all fake. All the diary entries have been planted and whatnot, and I didn't really see the twist coming. I mean, I kind of suspected that was one of my things, but I also wasn't really sure because of Nick's whole weirdness thing. I wasn't sure who to trust, you know? And at one point I thought maybe Nick did have something to do with it. And then I thought, oh no, maybe Amy did frame him. Maybe this was all just lies. And I really wasn't sure. And so I just kind of let it reveal itself on its own. So I was kind of surprised when I read that it was all, you know, a big fake frame up by Amy. Because it came halfway through the book about what was really happening, the second half of the book kind of felt dragged out, and it wasn't exciting at all because I now knew what was going on. So I was just waiting. Basically, in the second half of the book, you're waiting for Nick and Amy to finally meet and like get back together. You're waiting for that moment when they see each other. He knows he's been framed. She knows that he knows he's been framed by her. So you're just waiting for that moment on the page when they finally reunite. What's gonna happen? And that moment didn't come for quite a long time, so it felt to me dragged out. So I was just waiting and waiting for more suspense and something, but there was nothing anymore because now I knew what was happening. And then of course when she killed, is it Desi? I think his name's Desi. When she killed Desi, that's when I knew she was definitely psycho. Like a murdering psycho crazy woman. So that was kind of an exciting moment in the second half of the book, but that, you know, again, that kind of took some time to get there. It just felt a little bit dragged out from the revelation that Amy was planting everything to the moment when they finally get back together. I didn't really like how it ended either. It was very underwhelming and anticlimactic. It was not what I was expecting at all. Again, she proves her insanity by getting herself pregnant with Nick's frozen sperm that he had done, you know, ages ago. She kept it, and now she's pregnant, so she's now kind of for life got him in her trap, and there's basically no way he can get out without looking like a complete and utter, just terrible human being. But that was not the ending I was expecting, and I don't know how I really feel about it. It wasn't anything, it didn't really blow me away. I was like, okay, so it ends with a pregnancy, and he's trapped with her forever now. But it kind of made it seem like he was okay with that, so I don't know. It was kind of confusing and underwhelming and just not what I had in mind. I think it would have been more intense if, first of all, I think the twist should not have been revealed so early. I think that should have been kept going for much longer. Finally, when they did reunite, their actions at the end were confusing and uncharacteristic, I felt. I expected more passion and more hostility when they were together. And in the movie, I feel that captured it really well, but in the book, there was like nothing. It just felt really bland and really underwhelming, and it just didn't seem like what would have actually happened with those characters. Because throughout this whole book, you get to know each character fairly well. So when they reunited, I was expecting a lot more fireworks to go off, a lot more craziness to happen, but it was really, really bland. It was really mellow. It didn't quite do it for me. And so as I was saying, I'll get back to this point now, I feel like the ending would have been more intense and more better if one of them actually had gone to jail, or something worse had happened. Maybe he kills her, or she kills him, or something. I don't know. You know what would have been kind of maybe interesting is if he was so pissed off with Amy that they got in some like huge argument or something, and he actually did end up killing her in the end, but now he's kind of learned from Amy, so he figures out a extremely clever way to cover his tracks now or something. Maybe that sounds really stupid, but I feel like that might have been a more exciting ending. I feel like it would have been more exciting if something in the end had happened to one of them, whether it be go to jail or get murdered or something. So let me know what you think of the whole book, the whole story with that, if you kind of agree or not, but yeah, something was missing from there. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the movie. First of all, I like the book better than the movie. A lot of people said they liked the movie better than the book, but I definitely like the book better. The casting. I thought Ben Affleck was pretty well casted for Nick's part. He definitely played the kind of bumbling, stupid, idiot guy with the dumb grin, and clueless guy, but also kind of this other side of him that he figures it out, and he's not so dumb. He actually kind of he knows what's going on. And, yeah, so I thought he was casted pretty well for Nick. As for Rosamund Pike for Amy, it took me a while to get used to her. I've seen Rosamund Pike before in movies, and I do really like her as an actress. I think she's really good. But I don't know, something about her playing Amy was at first a little off to me, but as the movie went on I kind of got used to her, and I was like, okay. And then I could kind of see in the end how she was good for Amy, because she's got a very intense look about her, and she's kind of, I don't want to say psychotic looking, but she can pull that off well, so it was good for her part, I think. And I just want to point out something that really bothered me at the end. There was this really weird ambiance music going on throughout like the entire ending. I watched the movie a while ago, but I distinctly remember the ending, and you know, just watching when she reveals to him about the baby and they're kind of fighting and blah blah blah, everything was kind of getting tied up towards the end. There was like this continuous weird ambiance music throughout the ending that I just really hated it. It ruined the atmosphere. It was not the right choice of music for those scenes that it was used in. So I felt the movie could have been more creative. It literally just followed the book exactly, and I know, well, you might say, well, obviously it's a movie based on a book, so of course it's going to follow the book. But, and I mean, yeah, that's great and all, but I feel like they could have been more creative in it. You know, more sparks could have flown, more intenseness could have happened, more, not action scenes, but more suspense on, just more suspense on the screen. I didn't feel like it captured the same suspense as it did in the book. It didn't translate well to the screen, and I'm not sure, again, if that's because I read the book first or what, but I feel like more creativity could have definitely been put into the portrayal of the story in terms of intensity and excitement, because it just felt it fell quite short of the level of intensity that I felt in the book. Overall, though, it wasn't a bad portrayal of the book. I've seen worse portrayals of books, and as far as movies go, it was a pretty good movie. So that is my spoilery review discussion on the book and the movie Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Please let me know what you think, because I would love to hear your thoughts if you felt the same about the twist and also about the movie. And please subscribe, give it a like if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.